How is Scott Baldwin? What's the news?
I haven't seen him since we've come back, so yeah.
Do you know how long, apart from anything else, how long he's going to be out for?
No, I have no idea.
Months, years?
I can't imagine it's going to be years, but hopefully weeks. But I'm sure he's on the repair, and hopefully we'll see him sooner rather than later.
Is it just cuts? Is he, in a way, is he been pretty lucky?
Mate, I tried to stay out of the way of the line, so I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know he's had a clean out of the wound, and it's on the repair. So I think they've got to keep looking into that and making sure that that's as clean as possible, and hopefully he's back with us sooner rather than later. And I'm sure that's the case.
There's nothing other than a wound. So he hasn't any other damage apart from.
I don't know. No. I don't know. I couldn't answer that question. Honestly, I honestly don't know. That's our medical department would know. And Pete, do you know any more about that? Yeah. So I'm not trying to be funny there, but I'm really not aware.
Feel free to be funny as you like.
No.
Brad, how difficult is this period at the moment? It's a bit of a rut, obviously. It's somewhere you don't want to be, and
yeah.
How tough has it been?
Yeah, extremely. I think we're 1 from 5, and it's not a position we want to find ourselves in, but it is what it is, and it's up to us as a playing and coaching group to find a way out of it. I think in professional sport, there's always a degree of pressure which you have to accept when you're maybe not putting the performances in that everyone's expecting of you, and we as a group are no different. So our focus is that we are doing for large parts of the game, especially take the weekend's game for example. For large parts of the game, we're competing really well, and unfortunately for us, we're letting ourselves down in little moments of the match that are costing us big style. So we're talking about those moments and how we can improve those moments, and hopefully we can get back into the winner's circle sooner rather than later.
Because it's such a contrast, isn't it, from this time last year where we were riding high up until March, really.
Yeah. Last year I think we win a 5 out of 6 or something like that at the start, but we also went to Leinster last year, game 3, and got spanked. So no team's got a divine right to win every game at the moment. Where when you've had a few runs of defeats on the bounce, you're starting to search for these things. You're starting to look to maybe force things a little bit too much, and I think as a team we're probably guilty of that at the moment. And I think it's really important that as a group that the boys keep believing in themselves, that they're good players, we're a good team, and that as long as we keep working hard on the training paddock, the results will turn in our favour. And at the moment, sometimes the things that the bounce of the ball doesn't seem to be finding its way into your area when things aren't going so well. But this is the reality that we're in at the moment.
In that respect, how do you feel going into this game against a team that are firing on all cylinders at the moment, but a win over them equally? You go into Europe and it's a different ballgame, right?
100%. I agree with your statement. I think this game, I don't think anyone outside of our inner circle would be expecting us to get the result. We're going to go into this game as massive underdogs, which is against the Scarlets, which is probably the first time for many a year, and it's a great opportunity for us to give our supporters something really to get behind the team, and I think it's our duty really to try and deliver that. I think derby games sometimes always throw up a few funny results here and there, but for us, to come back from South Africa now to be facing the Scarlets right in front of us, in front of our home crowd, in hopefully what's going to be a great derby day atmosphere, I think there's a real good chance and good opportunity for us to turn this corner.
So that's what's interesting, the way feedback was saying this morning. There might have been a bit of kidology in it, but what he was saying, he wasn't looking at the players. If it was just on paper, you look at both sides, you know, as history has shown, seldom have you gone into it as underdogs into this fixture.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. I think past history will say that, you know, we've probably had the upper hand over the Scarlets, but in fairness to the Scarlets, what they've delivered over the last 12 months has been extraordinary. You know, they're a side that's banging form and has a shed load of confidence, and they're difficult to play not only at their place but also away from home. So it's a good game to be coming back into. Do you know what I mean? We know we have to up our performances, and it's a good opportunity for us to get back into that circle.
Should Osprey fans be worried because obviously the loss column has been building up, or do you feel, you know, you just that game away from sorting those problems out? Yeah,
I don't think it's I don't think it would be really honest of me to say that it's you know, it's one moment here. We're one moment away from winning the games. At the moment, we're losing all the little moments in the game. We're putting together some great pieces of play, whether that's in defence or an attack, but there's one little drop off in concentration, there may be one defensive error, and it's hurting us in the biggest possible way, which is on the scoreboard. So we need to be better at a time at being able to maintain our momentum, and to try to live in those moments for a little bit longer. And at the moment, we've probably fallen short. A good example of that is, you know, the 6 tries we conceded on the weekend. There's no defence coach worth his salt that would be happy about seeing the whitewash crossed over 6 times, but it's a fact. But in those 6 tries, I think they ran the ball for about 3 phases. So whether that's an intercept, whether that's a couple of driving tries, whether that's us dropping a restart 2 phases later in their corner. So we're giving up points far too cheaply for my liking, and we need to be able to live in those moments when things aren't going as well as what we'd like to be able to stay in that arm wrestle for longer, and that's something that we're speaking about.
With that in mind, Brad, the way the Scarlets play, obviously they like to keep the ball with a lot of width, go through the phases. Do they present a very different challenge for the defence coach the way they play?
Oh, they do, definitely. They hold the ball well. They've got some very skillful backs. I think the way they've played the game over the last 12 months has been outstanding, and they have got some, you know, everyone talks about their back line, but also what they do up front, you know, is really solid. But yeah, definitely is going to pose a challenge for us. For us at the moment, our biggest issue is that we're giving away too many cheap points. Is that just a defensive perspective of the game? No, it's probably what we're doing with the ball just as much as what we do without the ball, but we're allowing sides to earn too many cheap points, whether that's through interceptions, turnover, poor kick chase on the weekend. Just in those real critical moments, we're coming up a bit short, and it's up to us as a coaching group and as a playing group to make sure we identify those and be that little bit better. And against the champions, we're going to have to be that little bit better.
And in terms of personnel, Justin didn't play last weekend. Is he back in the mix this week?
Who's that? Sorry.
Justin Tidrick, sorry.
Yeah, Justin will come back into the mix, into the selection. You know, his wife is due to have a baby soon, so we'll have to see how that goes. But obviously, being back home, it's easier to get him back home to see the birth of his child than he is in South Africa.
We were talking earlier about potentially in back row with obviously Dan Lydiard's fit as well. Obviously James was in here earlier. You know, that could have a big bearing on the game. That the strength and international quality.
Yeah, it is, and you know, to have Lids come back into the fold and is really positive for us as a group, and you know, we're bringing that quality at the same time. When you have a name that comes back into the group, even though that name exudes quality, you know, that guy, you've got to give that guy time to get up to his match fitness and to the quality of play that we know he can. So I think people have to be patient with those guys coming back in and think it's not a quick fix. Just because you've got these names on the team sheet doesn't necessarily equate to that everything's going to be okay. It's up to us to get our house in order it's up to me defensively to get our defensive house in order, and for us to stop leaking points as quickly as we have been.
He obviously been out for a while, but is he getting there? You said back to that level, you know he's capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're talking about lids here, aren't we? Yeah. I think in training, you know, every training session he's developing, he's getting better. His little snippets off the bench, I think have been really positive, and he's getting there or thereabouts. So, you know, it's nice to have him, you know, in contention to be selected.
And another player we were speaking about, Dimitri Arte, we haven't seen him this season because of that shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Is he any closer to coming back?
He's getting closer. Right. He's getting closer. He's got to go through some, you know, to get through the training week before he can be even considered. So he's got to go through his contact, but hopefully he's close. If not this week, definitely for Europe. Yeah.
There were reports in a French newspaper last week that Rhys Webb's agreed a deal to join Toulon.
Yeah.
Is there any truth in that?
I don't get subscribed. I've not got the French newspaper.
No, I know. But
no, but I don't know. I don't know.
How important is Webb, you know, to the Ospreys? Not just as a player, but
yeah.
as a leader.
Oh, I think he's massively important. He's a world-class number 9. He's a British and Irish number 9. He's the Welsh starting number 9. So, you know, he's a quality player. So he's important to not only us but also the national team. And but in regards to speculation, you know, I think it's documented that he's out of contract, and a player of that calibre don't go unnoticed by the biggest clubs in the world.
Obviously, that's been enough Stan's leaving. Hopefully Webb stays, but he's been linked away.
Yeah.
The two of your best players, has that affected the squad at all? Because obviously I assume the younger players would look up to them as role models and as leaders on the field.
Yeah, if you're a young halfback, you might be looking at it and thinking, well, hang on a second, there's a chance here for me. So it depends on what young player you're looking at. But I don't think it's... I think players nowadays, especially in the professional era, they know that, you know, players come out of contract, they then... quality players come into... you know, other clubs are definitely going to look at them. And I think then, you know, it's right and proper for those players to put themselves out into the marketplace, and it's up to us to try to encourage them to stay. But you really have limited control about that. So, you know, I don't think there's been any disruption in terms of, you know, Dan agreeing to leave and Rhys being out of contract. I think it's part and parcel of the business, really.
Were you injury-wise? Ben John took a knock, didn't he, early on?
Yeah, so he's going through these protocols. So, you know, where he's at actually today, I'm not 100% sure, but you know, he took a bang, so he's going through his HIA protocols. Cracknell had a little stinger early on, but you know, he managed to play the game and play a great game at that. So he pushed on through that. So he should be fit and well. So yeah, where we are, we're getting guys coming back to fitness, and it's up to us now to get some runs on the board.
Just on Ben John and centre, where's Owen Watkin? I know he's been playing a bit for Pretenders.
Yeah.
So is he just, because obviously last season it was a wipeout, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. So again, you know, for a young player, last year was a massive wipeout for him, and you know, he got a little bit of time in the pre-season games, picked up a little bit of a bang. So we felt it best that, you know, he can start getting up to sort of game speeds in the premiership, but he's another guy that will come back into contention. So it's just nice to see that kid out in the field and doing the thing that he does well. And I think being at such a young age, it's just really important that we handle him, you know, with, you know, very closely, and we make sure we manage his load.